The CBS Sports family of networks. The highest standard in sports television, including the CBS Sports Network, Showtime Sports, CBSSports.com, and the CBS Sports Radio Network. The best in sports online, on radio, and on the air. CBS Sports. Expect it here.
Hinkle Fieldhouse, one of college basketball's great cathedrals in frozen Indianapolis. Guess who's in the house? Number 18, Creighton, and the man many think is the college basketball player of the year.
Pass to Leighton. Chalmers for the tie. Wow! Oh my goodness! Michael Jordan. Big finish. Dreams to come true. Oh, it almost went in. As good as it gets.
It's a Thursday night tip-off presented by Buick Regal inside Hinkle Fieldhouse, inside the Big East. Number 18, Creighton, and the Butler Bulldogs. And Creighton right now sits at 9-2 with a great shot in their first year at a Big East championship. Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz along with Doug Gottlieb. You are one of the many that think Doug McDermott is the player of the year. Why?
Because he's unguardable at this level. If you put a big guy on him, he takes him outside and hits jump shots. You put a little guy on him, he takes you inside and scores around the bucket. If you double team him, he passes out. Let's take a closer look at this Creighton offense with our eye tracker brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings. He plays essentially the center position. So you use him as a screener, and if the big man helps, he pops out. That's 22 feet. That's splash. Just too easy for a shooter of his caliber. Now, if you switch and you put a smaller player on him, that means he's going to post them up. And look at the spacing of the Creighton offense. He catches it, help comes. There's his teammate Ethan Rogge. As a team, they shoot 42% from three, and he'll facilitate when needed. He's simply unguardable.
So how do you stop him? How do you beat Creighton? Well, Butler head coach Brandon Miller, that's his job, and he's planning for success. Brought to you by Northwestern Mutual.
Three keys tonight versus the Creighton game. Number one, we must execute on offense, do a great job of taking care of the basketball. Number two, do a great job of defending in transition in game one. They scored way too many points getting up and down the floor. And then the last thing is defending the three-point line. They're one of the best three-point shooting teams in the country.
Tonight, number 18 Creighton and Doug McDermott are in the house. Hinkle Fieldhouse.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is brought to you by AT&T. Rethink possible. By the 259 horsepower Regal GS from Buick. Yeah, it flies. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Moments from tip, Hinkle Fieldhouse. Let's join the third member of our broadcast team, Lauren Gardner. Lauren?
Well, guys, in addition to the exposure, another perk of the Bluejays moving to the Big East has been the venues for playing at Madison Square Garden. This past Sunday, where Doug McDermott told us he was in awe to the basketball institution here tonight at Hinkle Fieldhouse. And Rich Ethan Rogge even joked with us earlier today at shoot-around saying, if you told me my freshman year that I'd be playing in these two venues, I would have laughed in your face. So needless to say, these guys are enjoying the transition.
And Greg McDermott certainly is enjoying coaching his son, fourth year at Creighton. If he wins this game, it's win number 100 as a Blue Jay. Starting lineup, a lot of ball handlers, a lot of good three-point shooters for Creighton. Butler needs Alex Barlow, Kellen Dunham to shoot the ball well to have a shot in this one.
And probably their poorest performance of the year. I spoke to Brandon Miller after the loss to Xavier. Remember, that was less than 48 hours ago here at Hinkle. He expects his Bulldogs to show a lot more fight against the Blue Jays.
What type of game do you see in terms of pace?
I mean, Creighton wants to play fast, and they can play fast. They can really score. Obviously, Butler, they want to shorten the game. They want to turn this thing in the old meat grinder.
Alex Barlow runs the show for Butler. Woods spinning, kick out. Back into the post. Dunham, step back jumper. Missed it. And Creighton comes down with the first rebound. And it's Grant Gibbs. Gibbs is a terrific rebounder. He had 11 Last time out in the loss to St. John's.
Of course, he's come back from the injury to his kneecap where he missed several weeks. He's a tremendous facilitator.
Already, you could see it's Woods who is following McDermott. McDermott cutting to the bucket. He's fouled and counted.
Well, this is what makes Doug McDermott so special. Constantly in movement. Kyle Marshall, he's chasing, he's tailgating, he's following. And there's Kellen Dunham caught wrong place, wrong time. I'm not really sure how that's a foul, but that definitely is a bucket.
Coach Gottlieb, how would you defend him?
I frankly would double him every time he gets the ball in the post and make Austin Chapman beat me. You know, I know that others have tried it. That's the first thing. Or Grant Gibbs beat me. The problem is he's always in motion, and so do you switch or do you stay home?
Woods misses the jumper. Travis with the rebound. And a three from Barlow, and he hits it.
Barlow's a little bit of a reluctant shooter, but that doesn't mean he's not a good shooter. And when he's on balance in range, he'll make you pay. You see, Gibbs is the one guy that people feel like you can help off of, but he's such a smart penetrator that he takes up that space and he can score low in the post.
This is Gibbs with the ball. McDermott. Boy, every spot on the floor.
Well, that's the exact same motion offense where he comes over, curling, posting up, and now he catches, he doesn't get a layup, and Kyle Marshall gives him airspace and he makes you pay.
McDermott has the first 5 points for Creighton, and a foul inside. And it's Austin Chapman, his first personal. All right, with every point he scores, he seemingly passes a college legend. He just passed Tennessee's Allen Houston.
And you see Larry Legend up there. And now you're getting into basketball royalty.
Woods missed the jumper. McDermott has the rebound. If he stays on pace, he's got a shot at 3,000 points. There have only been 7 3,000-point scores in college basketball history. McDermott on a lob, and it goes in. It's Gibbs who throws it in.
And you see Grant Gibbs, the 6th-year senior, who has not achieved his doctorate yet, even though there's some dispute as to that. He'll take it. He'll take a three anytime you can. He stuck his finger up in the air. That's me.
Butler finally had defended McDermott sufficiently, and it still didn't work. Barlow misses a three, and Creighton loves to get threes in transition, especially Raggi trailing the play.
It's very difficult because their guards push so quickly and try and flatten out the defense.
Bluejays, after shoot-around, remarked that this is a great shooting background, a great shooting gym, as if they need help. Gibbs driving, can't finish. Butler has struggled. First year in the Big East, 2-10. Oh, big dunk on the rebound, Cameron Woods. But in that 12-12 record are 4 overtime losses. They've had a lot of close heartbreakers this year. Straight on three, Maniga. Woods with the rebound. And right now, Butler able to control the pace. And it's Marshall who walks.
Well, one way, Rich, in which Butler can get offense going, the ball goes in the post. Here comes Doug McDermott to double, and when he comes and the ball goes out, now all of a sudden there's really no rebound lanes, and that creates an easy open weak side dunk for Cameron Woods. If I'm Butler, I still want to keep throwing the ball inside and playing off of that double team and making Creighton rotate.
McDermott a three, bang, wow. Quick release, great feet, and a soft touch. And a 10-5 lead for number 18, Creighton. McDermott has 8 already. Marshall spinning. Missed with the left hand. Gibbs has another rebound. Butler doing all they can to deny McDermott the ball. And they do deny him. It's out of bounds and our first timeout of the night.
Well, they call him Dougie McBuckets, and he's already getting buckets. Blue Jays up 5 as the Bulldogs are struggling to contain Doug McDermott.
Later tonight, we take you into the studio, down the road, the Final Four. Highlights, analysis, March implications from around the country. Inside college basketball tonight, 11 Eastern, only on CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. All this talk about freshmen, Doug Gottlieb. What about the super seniors?
Well, there's some guys having some incredible years. Jordan Bashinsky's having a great year, leading the country in block shots at Arizona State. Shabazz Napier, for my money, having the best season of any point guard in the country. And then you got Xavier Thames, who's right there in the discussion. Of course, Doug McDermott, who I believe is going to be the National Player of the Year. And he's shown us a bit of everything. Cutting to the basket in and one, the low post. He gives you the Larry Bird fadeaway. Also gave us a 3. He's got 8, hadn't missed a shot, and hasn't broken a sweat just yet.
Now, you talked about Butler controlling tempo. They've done that pretty much in this ball game, but it hasn't helped.
No, because they can't control right now Doug McDermott. Should be pointed out they added a point on that Grant Gibbs pass that went in. It was from beyond three-point range. So that's considered a three-point shot.
A whistle and a foul inside.
Gibbs called for a moving screen. Well, the thing that's interesting about what Creighton does is, what I like about their offense, they run traditional motion. So few teams run a quality motion. They use McDermott as both a screener and a screenee. And sometimes the best way to get open is for you to screen somebody else.
Off the screen, a curling 3 by Kellen Dunham is out. And here comes Creighton. McDermott handling it himself.
And that did not miss by much. A little screen, re-screen action out of the break, trying to get Dunham going.
McDermott, he finally missed. And a rebound flying in. Eric Fromm in the ball game for the Butler Bulldogs. Barlow, Dunham in the backcourt, now joined by Elijah Brown. 3-guard look for Butler. And a steal. Avery Dingman. Butler takes it right back.
What a job by Austin Chapman. Look at Austin Chapman, little number 1. He's got Cameron Woods. He's bodying. He forced Woods to catch the ball all the way out near the three-point line, and Woods is not comfortable passing out of the double team. Excellent recovery by Barlow, getting the Bulldogs the ball back. But I'm even more impressed by Chapman's toughness. If you're going to switch defensively, that means occasionally guards have to guard big men, and he won't be pushed around.
Doug McDermott will be the first to tell you. Everybody focuses on him, but this is a really good team with some really good pieces around him.
I think a better team than last year, despite losing Gregory Eshenique.
Brown misses a 3. Well, Butler has had some open looks. Creighton has had trouble holding on to the ball. Dunham. Drops it off for Woods, who misses a 15-footer. And it's been a tough night shooting the ball for the Bulldogs. They're just 2 of 10. McDermott in low, and that's 2 points. Easy. McDermott is lighting it up. He's got 10 early points, 4 of 5 from the field. And Dunham is tripped coming off the screen.
Following Bluejays 22. Avery Dingman, his second, team's 4th.
Here's the basketball IQ of McDermott. So he catches the ball, and he's got Woods on him. Woods, a long-arm shot blocker. He pins him underneath the basket so that Woods can't jump and block the shot, because if he jumps up, he ends up hitting the rim. And NBA scouts and college assistant coaches who scout this team rave about Doug McDermott. Because he can post guards, obviously, and he shows that he can post long, lengthy defenders like you saw against St. John's and like he sees with Cameron Woods.
This is where Butler has to make some hay here when McDermott's on the bench. And that's a three by Elijah Brown.
Elijah Brown out of famed Mater High School in Orange County. Of course, his dad's Mike Brown, the head coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers, who is here tonight with his wife.
Devin Brooks in the ball game. Isaiah Zierden also off of Creighton's bench. Both teams have gone to their bench. Hot shooting for Creighton to open this ball game. They're 5 of 8 from the field. Butler just 3 of 12. Zierden on the baseline, and he's fouled.
Fouling the Bulldogs, number 4, Eric Brown, his first, team's
The jump to the Big East, both these schools making it. Of course, Butler jumped from the Horizon League to the A-10 for 1 year, and then into the Big East, and the Creighton Bluejays from the Missouri Valley.
And remember, Butler's doing it without Roosevelt Jones, who's probably their best player. But Kellen Dunham would be their leading scorer, even if Ro Jones is playing. Jones, of course, injured his wrist badly in a pickup game here at Hinkle. And he's going to sit out the season.
You have to think that the presence of Jones would make a difference in the 4 overtime losses, all the close games that Butler has lost.
Oh, I mean, he's a high-level player. And you take one guy off a team that their coach left, in the middle of summer to take an NBA job. You step up into a level of competition to which, frankly, some of Butler's players weren't recruited at.
Brooks, a driving lay-in. Devin Brooks is getting better and better. Greg McDermott feels he's the most improved player from the start of practice to right now.
Well, and he's been pushed. He's been pushed by Austin Chapman's improvement. He's seen some minutes decline, but it gives them a ton of athleticism and some different lineups for Creighton.
Dunham's pass goes into backcourt, and it's an ugly turnover for Butler.
Now, here's what happens. You pay attention to Ethan Rogge. Don't leave Rogge. Don't leave Rogge. Don't give up a dead layup. Bluejays up 8.
Hot start for number 18 Creighton, 15-7 on the road at Butler. Let's take a look at the AP poll, powered by Ram Trucks. And sitting atop is Syracuse. And last night, just a thrilling win at Pitt. What a finish as we take a look at some of the fabulous freshmen. You got to put Tyler Ennis on that list.
He absolutely has to put Tyler Ennis on that list. Simply doesn't turn the ball over, makes big plays at the end of games for Syracuse. Aaron Gordon, who's going to be called on a ton here for Arizona, especially since Brandon Ashley is out for the season. We have Andrew Wiggins. We don't have Joel Embiid. We just don't have room on the graphic. Embiid, of course, many people believe will be the #1 overall draft pick if he chooses to come out from Kansas. And he may miss some time as he has a bit of a back issue for the Jayhawks.
Funny thing is, when Doug McDermott was a freshman at Creighton, his father was going to redshirt him. And if it weren't for an injured player and an ill player in a closed scrimmage against Colorado, in which he threw his son in and said, all right, you go ahead and play. He scored 16 points against a Colorado team that was really good. And then all of a sudden it dawned on Greg McDermott, better not redshirt him.
He didn't recruit him at Iowa State when McDermott was there.
McDermott still creative. 12 points already. He's 5 of 6 from the field. And number 18 Creighton has opened up a 10-point lead.
Out of a timeout, just a beautiful slip on a ball screen, a called play. He didn't recruit him at Iowa State because he didn't think he'd be an all-conference player. If you remember, Greg McDermott, as good as he was at Northern Iowa as a coach, was under some pressure at Iowa State and thought it may be bad if he brings in his son and tries to play him when he's under pressure.
And McDermott signed with Northern Iowa. You certainly have to give Ben Jacobson some credit, the Northern Iowa coach who let him out of the commitment once the Creighton job went to Greg McDermott.
Well, here's that play out of the timeout. As the ball is swung, McDermott follows the ball to go and set a ball screen, frees it right there. So you assume, all right, we're going to switch. Kyle Marshall thinks there's going to switch, and he simply slips to the basket. The help is late getting there from Barlow, and that's far, far too easy. He is so adept at moving without the basketball. You know, Rich, one of the things I think people have a misconception. They think the middle game, the mid-range game, is the lost art. I think the lost art is the movement without the basketball. And McDermott once again getting a slip to the hole.
Who else in college basketball does it well?
Moves without the basketball well?
Oh, it's a terrific play in the lane. And Butler gets on the board. That's Andrew Travis.
Here's Butler taking advantage of the fact that McDermott's slow getting back because he got knocked down. And Grant Gibbs, wrong place, wrong time, ends up getting called for his second foul.
Travis to the line. A shot at the three-point play.
I think obviously you look at Nick Stauskas, there are several other players. The difference is that so few teams run traditional motion. So few teams have guys that are moving as often.
Travis completes the three-point play. That wasn't an offense that Greg McDermott ran at Northern Iowa, and when he got to Creighton, he changed his whole philosophy.
Hey, he was a man of a million sets at Northern Iowa. Still runs those sets. But he wants them to play quicker, faster, get the ball up. Feels like when they were in the Valley, they had the best offensive team, so you want to have more possessions. One way to have more possessions, play faster.
This is Chapman. McDermott claps his hand, wants the ball. Long three, missed it. And he's starting to miss a few shots. It's given Butler an opportunity to climb within 5. Barlow, handoff, Brown. And McDermott has the rebound.
Well, Brown's a good shooter, and they want him to get it going, but he has to let the offense work for him a little bit.
It's a block. Crowd doesn't like it.
Remember, it's different primary and secondary. Obviously, Travis guarding the ball, that's a primary. I kind of think it's just a play on more than anything. There wasn't an extension of the elbow, so there wasn't an obvious offensive foul. A little bit of a flop, a little bit of contact. Just tell the defender, get up.
Maniga, Chapman, Gibbs, no one else has really scored. McDermott has a dozen of Creighton's 17. Chapman, ball fake. Maniga's a good three-point shooter. Raggi is a terrific three-point shooter, and he's going to get 3 free throws.
Ethan Raggi has range to the parking lot. And credit Kyle Marshall. He knows the scouting report. He's playing him close. He had a hand up. And he doesn't think there was any contact. But Raggi, of course, the 7 threes in the first half against Villanova put the world on notice. And they get the Wildcats at home at CenturyLink this weekend.
That was maybe the signature moment for this number 18 team, is coming out and hitting those threes against the Villanova team that has since then climbed the polls.
And that was ridiculous. And Greg McDermott told me, he's like, look, I was just thinking, don't screw this up. You know, do I sub a guy? Do I not? Everybody's hitting shots. And Raggi obviously gets the credit because he was just hitting shot after shot after shot.
He hit his first 7 threes. He hit 9 in the game.
But they hit 21 as a team.
And Raggi gets 3 free throws.
That's unheard of. That's actually unguardable.
Marshall on the bench with 2 personal fouls. Dunham straight on with a 3, bangs it home.
And that can't happen for Creighton. You can't let Kellen Dunham get open. They were in a zone, and Raggi was nowhere to be found. There was a little miscommunication there.
Baseline drive and a finish. Isaiah Zierden, the freshman out of St. Louis Park, Minnesota. Three-guard look continues for Butler. Barlow, Brown, and Dunham. Travis, and he'll get to the line.
Travis, an interesting story. You know, the kid from New England, played with BABC, of course produced Wayne Selden, who's a freshman at Kansas. George Niang, who's a star at Iowa State, sophomore, who has a great old man game. Take you outside, hit a 3, take you inside, and score in the post, and a tremendous passer.
And he's part of what you talked about, this being a transition year, because he's a freshman. They're without Jones, but Roosevelt Jones will have 2 more years. So it's a transition year on the floor as well as coming into a new league. And Travis with a couple free throws. And Butler hanging around, down by 6.
They've done a good job of trying to limit Creighton to jump shots for the most part. And they want to challenge those jump shots, but you can't foul on.
Maniga. McDermott. Into the paint. Spinning, twirling, and missing. He hit his first 4 shots. He's cooled down since. Dunham deep. Got it! And Hinkle comes to life. Chapman walks.
Well, the Bulldogs had dead legs the other night, Rich. And Kellen Dunham didn't really produce. But you give him an open 3, and then the next time he gets it, little heat check. Bulldogs coming back.
Our Sonic stat pack. Butler shooting their way back into this ball game. A couple of threes and down by 3.
And Kellen Dunham, who didn't make a 3 the other night against Xavier, has already made 2 in a row. But obviously the key is, Doug McDermott, who started out making 4 of his first 5 and now has, only made 1 of his last 4. That's a well-challenged shot by Kyle Marshall that did go in, and then he gets a slip. That's far too easy. They made it more difficult. Made him shoot off a pivot. That's not an easy shot. They made him shoot over the long arms of Cameron Woods, outside 6-7 feet. You just got to challenge shots, leave him to 1 shot, and then make him pay at the defensive end.
How much will Big East coaches watch of the St. John's game and glean from that in game planning against Creighton?
The problem is that you can't replicate St. John's athleticism and length. And therein lies the problem. And Nova plays 4 guards. Javon Pinkston's their power forward. He runs about 6'4", 6'5".
Travis going strong. And the rebound by Will Artino. Chapman.
And if you look at Creighton's lineup now Doug McDermott is truly the power forward. They'll roll him in the post. They'll use him a little bit more on the perimeter.
The steal, it's Barlow with company. And he finishes. A 14-5 run has Butler within a point.
And another turnover from a Creighton backcourt man.
Corner, Zierden misses. Travis with a rebound. Dunham hit a couple threes. Barlow with a driving layup. Number 18, Creighton, opened up a big lead. Butler back within 1. Brown rises. Creighton looking for their first fast break points. If you've just joined us, Doug McDermott with 12 points. Creighton, a 3-point lead, or excuse me, a 1-point lead on the road. Hinkle Fieldhouse, first time McDermott's been here with the left hand. He lays it in. 14 for McDermott. Now the lead is 3. 6 minutes left, first half. Travis has to save it. Shot clock at 10. Barlow's 3. Got it! .24 apiece. McDermott, he's got a little man on him. Terrific job by Barlow to poke him out of the post. Artino.
Wow.
Nifty move. Big swag is the nickname his teammates call him. Junior out of Iowa. Dunham against McDermott. Dunham. Line drive three. Butler's first lead. Artino. Count it. It's a block. He may have been in the circle.
Note to self, right? Don't microwave Kellen Dunham. Dunham gets a switch. He's got Doug McDermott. That's just a quality shot. But the problem was they left Kellen Dunham wide open. They got confused man or zone. And when you give a shooter of his caliber the chance to set his feet and feel good about himself, he hits one, then he gets one in transition. Now Kellen Dunham, next time he gets it, that sucker's going up.
Artino got the bucket, missed the free throw.
Now, whatever Brandon Miller's running right now, it should probably be for Kellen Dunham.
That foul on Travis. He's played some nice minutes for Brandon Miller and Butler. Brown off a screen. Off on the three. Chapman starts the break.
Creighton did a good job of taking away Dunham.
Zierden's miss and a rebounding foul on Creighton. Looks like Avery Dingman. Both teams in the bonus. Third personal on Dingman.
And remember, there's a lot of pride in that Butler locker room. You know, they may have lost a bunch of games, a lot of close games. There's a lot of pride. Barlow has been the leader. He stepped up and made 2 open jump shots. Dunham's hit 3 threes. And they're back to being physical. Now, I remember the year they went to a national championship game. I called one of their games early in the season. And one of the assistant coaches from the team they were getting ready to play said, you know, they may look like fire boys, but they hit you like sailors. The thing about this Butler program is it's built at the defensive end.
And of course, Brandon Miller played here as Butler was building its program, as Brad Stevens was an assistant.
You know, Creighton at times has gotten away with shooting it really, really quick in other games. That shooting it quick has allowed Butler to get some runouts, some easy buckets, and not have to defend for 30 seconds on a clip.
McDermott not in the ballgame right now. Raggi with a screen. Brooks. Twice he's driven, twice he's lost the ball. Chapman. Shot clock runs down. Chapman in the lane. Strong move. And a rebounding foul. Artino wrestled the ball away, and he'll have free throws when we return. Butler has come roaring back, a 1-point lead over number 18, Creighton. You're watching Thursday Tip-Off, CBS Sports Network, presented by Buick Regal. Hinkle Fieldhouse, number 18, Creighton at Butler, and Butler is up by a point. On Saturday, the road to the Final Four continues 1 Eastern on CBS ACC Showdown. Number 25 Pitt and North Carolina. First meeting since 1996. Saturday on CBS. Our Golden Corral teams hungry for a bid for Pitt. How do they recover from that heartbreaker last night?
That's a good question. Remember, North Carolina didn't have to play last night. Their game against Duke is postponed to the 20th of February. But Pitt, frankly, needs a signature win. Their best win to date is over Stanford. And beat a single team that's a lock to be in the NCAA tournament. I just think that you have to try and look at the positive. Look, we were 4 seconds away from beating Syracuse. They were up 6 with a minute and change to go. Gave up a 3-point shot to C.J. Fair. And Syracuse went on a little bit of a run.
Artino gets 2.
But there's a lot of positives to take from Pittsburgh. And not just their ability to play Syracuse close at home, played them well on the road as well. And they go to Carolina, a team that struggles shooting the basketball. And though they've been playing better of late, frankly, it's been against the bottom of the ACC.
Doug McDermott back in the ball game, 14 points, 6 of 10, 1 of 3 from distance. And Creighton is back up by a point. Butler shot poorly to begin with, has heated up to get back in the ball game. Cameron Woods.
Now Woods is going right at Doug McDermott.
Chapman. It's a 2. Austin Chapman, his first 2 points of the ball game, and Creighton stretches it to 3. Eric Fromm, one of the senior leaders in the game for Butler. Barlow. Brown feeds Fromm, and he's tied up by Raggi, who fouls him.
And if you're asking yourself as a Creighton fan, how did Austin Chapman get so wide open? A guy who's really improved his game. Watch Doug McDermott. This is a quick post. He just goes down, holds his man behind, and so Cameron Woods can't recover. And Kellen Dunham a little bit confused as to the cross matches. Far too much rhythm for Austin Chapman to set his feet and just knock it down an easy shot.
Fromm, a senior out of Bloomington, was a starter, one of the most experienced Bulldogs, and one of the leaders. And this has not been an easy year. Yeah. So Brandon Miller has needed the leadership from Fromm, from a guy like Kyle Marshall. But a win over number 18 would make some of those overtime losses feel a little bit better. Butler down a point, 2.5 left, first half. McDermott has gone for 14 in this half. 6 minutes. Artino, he certainly adds a different dimension.
Well, Butler's trying to switch everything. And while they've been successful at times in defending Doug McDermott on these switches, Artino is a true post. And so Butler's getting caught on the high side. Here's the switch. Artino screens. Look, I got a mouse in the house. Kellen Dunham playing on the front side. Barlow hugging up on the weak side. And you have to also pressure the basketball. If you're going to front, if you're going to play in front of your man, he's in the low post, the man guarding the basketball has to pressure that ball. Otherwise, it's just too easy a pass. Or you got to be in kind of a zone behind it.
Artino's got 8 points off the bench. McDermott with 14. Backing in.
Great defense by Cameron Woods.
And Woods lost the rebound. A foul on the putback, and Devin Brooks is going to the free throw line.
Watch Cameron Woods. He's playing behind. Got a little hand check, using his body, keeping his arms up. He's got big, long arms. God gave him to you. You might as well use him. Great play, but then, the freshman doesn't box out. Elijah Brown doesn't box out. And he gives Creighton 2 free shots.
Creighton is an outstanding free throw shooting team. 75%. And as you would expect, they get to the line a lot. 1:51 left in this first half. I think if you're Butler, you're down 4 at this point. The way this game started, they've got to be pretty pleased.
Oh, he's opening the slip.
Dunham, that's deep. Maybe too deep. Brooks, Maniga, Chapman.
This is where Creighton can climb into you defensively with their 3 guards.
And they all can shoot. They all can penetrate. McDermott, that's Barlow alone against him. He missed again. McDermott now 6 of 12 from the field.
Yeah, but that's all about Barlow. Barlow using his leverage and his strength.
Barlow with a feed and the finish. Eric Fromm, but that was all about Barlow as well.
Barlow creating a shot for Eric Fromm. And it doesn't feel like Creighton's up 4, does it? Feels like Butler's almost in. It's going to be up 2. Almost in control.
Coming up, AT&T at the half. Dana Jacobson, Wally Zerbiak, Pete Gillen, Seth Davis. All the scores, highlights from around college basketball. All coming up, AT&T at the half.
And a lot of people compare Doug McDermott to Wally Zerbiak. And I just say this, not just because Wally's my guy, but I don't think it's a great comparison. I think Wally was a little bit more bouncy. And not nearly the post player that McDermott is.
Creighton with a basketball and a 2-point lead. Final minute, first half. Butler was down 10 in this game. Chapman follow 10 first half points from Will Artino. And that's been enormous for number 18 Creighton.
Artino's been incredible. Really giving them a lift.
And a timeout. Butler. A 4-point lead for number 18 Creighton. Number 18 Creighton, Hinkle Fieldhouse on the road in the Big East. 48 hours ago, Butler played a Big East game, and they lost by 14, and the game was not that close. Xavier blew them out. Xavier had a 24-point lead midway through the second half.
And it's important for people to understand that Butler went to 2 straight national championship games. And so as a mid-major, they had some elite players. They had 2 NBA players on the team. But the difference in playing in a league at this level is, tell me the nights off when Providence isn't great, but Dunkin' Donuts is a hard place to play. St. John's, Seton Hall, whom they beat, Marquette, Georgetown, Xavier, and they just kind of got beat up by the losses and by the level of competition consistently.
What are you looking for here with 15 seconds left?
They're obviously going to get Dunham the ball. They're going to screen him and then re-screen him.
There's the screen. There's the re-screen. Dunham with 5 seconds left. Driving. In traffic. Got McDermott in the air and drew the foul with 2 seconds left.
Tremendous job by Kellen Dunham. So what they want to do is have him come off a screen, then re-screen and set and shoot the ball or get a slip. He doesn't have it. He shows great patience, and gets Doug McDermott up in the air and gets 2 free shots.
And a chance to draw within 2. And if you watch the first 5 minutes of this basketball game, you would have thought that Greg McDermott and number 18 Creighton was going to walk all over Butler. Missed the second end. Good if it goes. And it doesn't.
Really impressive half from Butler, especially Alex Barlow, who I think has contributed to Butler hanging in this game with the Blue Jays.
10-point lead by number 18 Creighton. Butler rallies down by 3. Lauren Gardner is with Greg McDermott.
Well, thank you very much, Rich. Well, Coach, you had the opportunity to speak with your team on a few separate occasions late in the first half as Butler came back into it. What was your message to them?
Well, we let Dunham get loose in transition a couple times, and once a guy like that gets going, he's difficult to stop.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Thank you.
Number 18 Creighton looking for win number 20. Butler not cooperating. After this break, stay tuned. AT&T at the half. You're watching CBS Sports Network, 24-hour home of CBS Sports.
CBS Sports presents AT&T at the half. AT&T. Rethink possible.
Hi there, welcome to AT&T at the half. Good news here is we all have seats, and we are at midway point. Creighton and Butler. Creighton has the 3-point lead. Seth Davis to my right, Wally Zerbiak, Mateen Cleaves. I'm Dana Jacobson, and we've had a pretty good first half. Butler, you wouldn't have expected to hang with Creighton the way they have, Wally.
Creighton got off to a great start. Doug McDermott got off to a great start, but give Butler credit. At home, they're playing some good basketball, but it was all about Doug McDermott in that first half, the way he was playing. Offensively, he put so much pressure on the defense with the way he moves without the ball, showed the full arsenal. There, the mid-range game, doesn't put the ball on the floor, doesn't allow the defense to get a chance to double team him. There he shows the outside shot with the 3-point range. And surprising to me, Butler gives him 2 dribbles in the post. He's got a very good post game. A lot of people ask him how they compare his game to my game. His post game is much better than my post game ever was. He finishes with both hands. He has great footwork, a lot like Kevin McHale used to have at the NBA level. He's off to a great start in this first half for the Creighton Bulldogs.
And I was surprised they didn't double team him. And I guess Butler feels like, hey, we're going to let the lead singer have the stage. We're not going to let the backup dancers get in on this show. And what they're doing, Ethan Raggy, a great shooter, he hasn't even attempted a 3-point shooter. So I think they figured Doug is going to score, but we're not going to let the other guys beat us.
Bad luck for Creighton that Kellen Dunham is coming off a game where he shot 1 for 10, 0 for 5 from 3-point range in that loss to Xavier. He's too good of a player to have back-to-back games. They need to do a much better job defensively. I agree about getting Ethan Raggy going, but how about what Will Artino's done, the big fella in the paint? Sometimes it's just about matchups. I mean, he's already above his averages in terms terms of points and rebounds. I could see them riding him all the way to the finish.
And it helps Butler right now, 5 of 10 from downtown in this, again, a 3-point game right now.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is being brought to you by Rent-A-Center. With the Rack Flex plan, you can get 90 days same as cash with no credit needed. By True Biotics, a daily probiotic that helps support digestive and immune health. And by Sonic Original and Spicy Jumbo Popcorn Chicken. The snack size is only $1.99.
Back at Hinkle Fieldhouse, the natives happy. Butler back in this ballgame. Number 18, Creighton. A 3-point halftime lead. Rich Waltz along with Doug Gottlieb. It was a 10-point Creighton lead. Dougie McBuckets was draining them. What happened? What got Butler back in the ballgame?
I think they stabilized themselves defensively and made Creighton play in a half-court game, take some quick shots, and then they got out in transition and got Kellen Dunham going. Remember, Kellen Dunham didn't hit a shot. He made 1 of 10, but 0 of 5 really against Xavier the other night. He gets a wide open 3, then he gets 2 more, kind of generates some momentum, and Hinkle came alive. Look at that, 5 of 10 from 3-point range. That'll even up or get close to even up any game. Plus, they caused some turnovers from Creighton in the first half.
Those are the first half stats reeled in by the Bass Pro Shops. Here are the highlights. They start with Doug McDermott.
Yeah, McBucket's got it going, and if you give him space, he'll take 3s, he'll take 2s, he'll take free throws. But once they limited some of his shots, they got Kellen Dunham going. They got confused here in his zone or man. And you give a shooter of his caliber an open look, it kind of microwaves him and energizes him. He hit a second 3, then hit a third 3, and suddenly Butler was right back in this thing.
Geico difference makers. McDermott, he had that hot start, 4 of 5 to start it. And as you pointed out, just 2 of 7 since. And for the Butler Bulldogs, Kellen Dunham. Remember against Xavier, he had a nightmare of a night. He was 1 for 10 in the loss Tuesday night against Xavier. Hot tonight, and Butler is within 3. Creighton with the basketball as we start the second half. Any adjustments that you expect from either side?
Well, I do think that Grant Gibbs played limited minutes in the first half with 2 fouls. I think Creighton is much better offensively when he's in the game.
McDermott in the lane, surrounded. Rogge has yet to bust loose, and he misses a 3. Marshall. In the backcourt, you got Barlow and Dunham. Barlow spots up. Bang! A 3. Drills it. And the game is tied. Big screen by Rogge. And Butler continues the momentum they had at the end of the first half, right here into the second. Woods. Offside rebound. Travis. Butler went small with a 3-guard look during their run. Marshall. Barlow in traffic.
Alex Barlow is taking over this game. He played tremendous defense, couple steals in the first half. Doug McDermott couldn't post him up. He just rooted him out there with his lower body strength. He's hit 3 jump shots, now getting a leaner in the lane. And Barlow came in shooting 29% from the field in Big East play. Really has struggled against some of the Big East level athletes, playing his best game maybe of the year so far tonight.
McDermott calling for the ball. Whips it across. Chapman. Maniga. That's a straight-on 3 and a big shot for Creighton. Jahen's Maniga, the senior, the Canadian, his 109th consecutive start. He's been a terrific Blue Jay in his career. Marshall, Travis.
And we talked about adjustments. Brandon Miller has said, all right, we're going to post up, they're going to post double, and we're going to play off the weak side. And Kyle Marshall happily passing out of the double team because Grant Gibbs can't guard him that low post alone.
Travis against McDermott, and he takes him on a spin and a left hand.
On the other hand, Travis cannot guard McDermott man up. Send some help and send it quickly.
Good ball game tonight. Hinkle Fieldhouse, number 18 Creighton. 8 lead changes, 5 ties. Creighton had that big 10-point lead, and that's after McDermott hit 4 of his first 5 shots. But a 1-point lead right now. Dunham, fall away. Got it. After a miserable night against Xavier, Kellen Dunham has the stroke tonight. Raggi, and he misses. Raggi famous for his threes, Raggi bombs, as they call him in Omaha. McDermott's open, and that's an easy 2. At the very least, Butler has limited McDermott's 3-point looks.
And they're making Raggi take contested threes. He's missed 2, and they've only limited them to 1 shot during those opportunities. Again, here comes the double for Grant Gibbs.
Marshall strong. Terrific rebound by Woods. Marshall put back, won't go, and he's down. Chapman lost it. Rare break for Butler.
Travis has got he's got the smallest player on the floor on him.
Woods still hasn't hit a mid-range jumper. Marshall with the rebound, Raggi with the foul.
Now Kellen Dunham got heated up in the first half. Now he's got his off the dribble game going. Little step back Kiki Vandeweghe style. And then Doug McDermott. You guard me out with a bit, little guy? I'll post you up. Blue Jays hanging on up 1.
Number 18 Creighton, a point better than the Bulldogs, the Butler Bulldogs. An outrageous morning sports team unleashed on a nation. Watch Boomer and Carton weekday mornings, 6 Eastern, right here on CBS Sports Network, 24-hour home of CBS Sports. We turn to our point guard now for the Ally assist of the game, brought to you by Ally Bank.
Creighton is 6th in the country in assists a game. And there's Isaiah Zierden, just a perfect slip. Not only does he catch it and hit that, we watch ball fake, open up the passing lanes, bounce pass, and let McBuckets get a bucket. A perfect assist to create a shot for Doug McDermott.
18 points for McDermott. He's 8 of 14, 1 of 3 from distance. It's the Butler backcourt that's been doing the scoring. Alex Barlow with 13, Kellen Dunham with a dozen.
You know, we just showed you Blue 3. Remember, Blue 2, the mascot who went to back-to-back Final Fours, tragically died at the age of 9 years old. Of course, that's the newest incarnation. So all new things for the Butler Bulldogs with a new coach, new conference.
Certainly a different team than we saw on Tuesday night against Xavier.
Oh, yeah.
And it's nice to feel the energy in this building right now.
This place is awesome, isn't it?
This is the Fenway Park of college hoops. Woods. A dump down. Travis earns a couple of free throws. They had a chance to give Butler the lead.
Well, the weakness to Creighton has been the defensive end. You go back since Greg McDermott got there. They've struggled at times defending people. And Butler going with their 3 big look. Almost running like an interior triangle. And whether it's Marshall, Travis, or
that foul
Woods
was on Austin Chapman, his second team foul.
Woods, they're not just playing first shot basketball, they're playing second shot basketball. And that's really hard when Creighton wants to get out and run, but they have to worry about defending on offensive rebounds for Butler.
Gibbs, foul trouble in the first half. Chapman steps behind the line and drills a 3.
You go back to a year ago, and you didn't necessarily have to guard Austin Chapman. That was all set up by Doug McDermott.
Travis against Artino. and Artino lost it.
Very simple motion offense where Chapman's going to screen on McDermott, freeze, and McDermott cuts, and when he cuts, 2 players go with him. That leaves Austin Chapman sets his feet, knocks down the jump shot. That's actually a go-to set for Creighton. They ran at the end of the first half against St. John's, and McDermott read it. They went underneath and got a 3. In the second half, he was wide open underneath, and they missed him and missed a 3.
Marshall misses a jumper, and Creighton botches another rebound. Butler has gone small again. Elijah Brown, the 6'4 guard, the freshman out of Los Angeles. And it was that lineup that Brandon Miller used to go on that run to get back in the ballgame. Barlow, long 3. And he missed. Artino's got the rebound.
That was like a Kellen Dunham heat check there. Deep one from Barlow.
$18 points for Doug McDermott. Off a screen. Doing everything he can to get the ball. Missed the shot, though. Artino has been terrific in this game. Maniga's 3. Wow, what a sequence for Creighton.
When Davidson went to the Elite 8, remember they nearly beat Kansas? They used to call those dagger 3s. When Duke won the national championship against Butler, their best offense was off the offensive rebound and kick out because your entire team collapses, and that's one of the things that Creighton works on.
Brown has a 3, and he answers. Big shot for Butler.
How about Travis? Turning down the open layup for 3.
McDermott against Marshall. Barlow comes with a double. Good left hand from Artino. And he draws another foul. He's been a guy that Butler really hasn't game planned for, and he's been a difference maker here.
Yeah, a true center who has really battled, and on the previous possession gave him an extra possession. And, you know, last year they had Gregory Echenike, who was a transfer from Rutgers, older player, big, strong body. They could play big or they could play small. And Will Artino gives them that capability moving forward. And remember, Creighton's schedule is a little bit backloaded in the Big East. Now, whatever you think of Georgetown this year, still have to go to Georgetown. Nova, whom they were running like a house of fire, they're running a fever against, they have to play this weekend at home. They still have to go to Marquette. They have to go to Xavier. Cintas Center, not an easy place to play.
Artino makes 1 of 2. He's got 11 points. Off the bench for number 18, Creighton. A 4-point lead. Butler dominated by Xavier here on Tuesday night. That foul on the other end on Travis, his 3rd personal. Chapman. Boy, McDermott doing all he can to get open. Maniga, wow, he's hit 2 big 3s, and all of a sudden, the rest of the team is picking up Doug McDermott. The lead is 7. Dunham forced it. From a hustle rebound. Another 3, and Brown hits another. Elijah Brown answers, and he gets a hand on the loose ball. And here comes Butler, down 4. Brown, step back, it's a 2. From with a rebound. And it stays with Butler.
Butler needs offense, and they found it with Elijah Brown, the freshman whose dad coaches the Cavs from NBA range. Bulldogs within 4.
This is the Thursday tip-off on CBS Sports Network, presented by Buick Regal. Number 18, Creighton, up by 4. Hinkle Fieldhouse. Let's check in with Lauren Gardner. Lauren?
Well, Rich, something that I've noticed in those Bulldogs huddles throughout the entire game is a consistency and composure. Now, they did spend a little bit of time game planning for Doug McDermott, limiting him in transition and doubling him up in the post, but a lot has been on generating offense, mainly in getting Alex Barlow some open looks in the perimeter, as well as Kellen Dunham. These are two guys that Coach Miller told us need to step up and play aggressive in tonight's game.
And Lauren, they have. The guards for Butler have been terrific. Barlow's got 13, Dunham's got 12, and Doug, we just saw Elijah Brown hit a couple big shots as well. He's got 8.
Well, the reason that Barlow is getting open looks is, frankly, Creighton wasn't guarding him. Creighton made the decision, and that's a basketball term, meaning you're going to lay off, you're almost going to dare a guy to shoot, especially a 3. And though he's a mid-30s three-point shooter, he's kind of a reluctant shooter. He's made them pay throughout the game. He's missed his last 2, and both were a little bit of quick, kind of deep looks. Wants to get back to facilitating.
This was a 10-point Creighton lead right out of the chute in the first half. Dunham, short. Another offensive rebound. Woods just into the ballgame. Nolan Berry, a freshman out of St. Louis. Dunham, left hand.
Another offensive rebound creates another possession. But credit Kellen Dunham for reading the defense and turning down the screen and getting to the bucket.
10 of the 24 rebounds for Butler are offensive rebounds. McDermott lining it up. He's got the freshman on him right now. How's that assignment? You step out on the floor, your first minutes of the ball game, go guard the best player in college basketball. And the freshman is leaning on him in the low blocks. Chapman, shot clock down. Missed it. Terrific sequence for Butler.
Rich, here's Kellen Dunham. He missed a 3 that wasn't a great look, but now he sets up a ball screen. And Manigat guesses and guesses wrong. Just one kind of foot fake. That's called turning down a ball screen or rejecting a ball screen. You fake like you're going one way, everybody guesses we're forcing you into the help. Creighton was not expecting him to put the ball on the deck and be that aggressive.
Manigat out, Devin Brooks in for Creighton. Blue Jays are number 18 in the country. We're coming off the loss at St. John's, a 5-point loss in which they struggled from distance. They were 5 of 22 from 3.
And a Butler loss is a bad loss if you're Creighton, 1 for seed, and 2 if you want to win your conference championship like they did last year in the Valley.
Dunham on a bump. Even at 54. Artino. McDermott with not a lot of touches here in the second half. Got an open 3 and buries it. Just his 4th 3, and he's made a pair. Let's see if Butler has an answer. Dunham is fouled.
Cameron Woods is guarding Doug McDermott. He's a center, okay? He's a shot blocker, and he gets caught. Watch, he's in help. Freeze it right there. He tries to go over the screen. Instead, he should chase, and because he tries to go over the screen, Grant Gibbs, the 24-year-old, 6-year senior, just kind of sticks out a hip. That creates enough space. Doug McDermott spaces out and gets enough airspace for the jump shot.
That foul on point guard Austin Chapman. He's got 3 personals now for Creighton. Just a 3rd team foul.
You're so used to, as Cameron Woods, guarding post players. You never guard a guy who moves on the perimeter.
Dunham, way off the mark. He hit a couple of those from that distance in the first half.
Yeah, but there's a difference in doing it off a jab step and rising up and doing it when your momentum is going forward in transition. It's a much easier shot in transition as opposed to standing still. Watch Barlow fight with McDermott. He uses leverage. McDermott cannot post up the smallest guy on the floor.
Drive by Brooks. Well, you heard Greg McDermott talk about Creighton's issues going to halftime. And right now, Butler with the ball, down by 3. This is Brown. Elijah Brown. And it's a Butler foul. Nolan Berry over the top.
Well, Berry is working to try and get the offensive board, and Brandon Miller doesn't like it. But that's a perfect box out by Ethan Rogge. And Barlow is just one of those guys that kind of always involved, always physical.
Well, nice minutes by Nolan Berry. Coming off the bench, his first action of the ball game.
He's going to look back and think, man, that was a bad haircut my freshman year.
Just about every Butler Bulldog has taken a turn in guarding McDermott.
Well, it's because they're switching, and McDermott smartly is trying to engage Barlow, but Barlow is just too strong, and he's getting away with being a little extra physical because he's the little guy.
He's got the leverage down low. Woods. Marshall spins, foul, count it. And a chance to tie it. Butler just won't go away. A 1-point game at Hinkle Fieldhouse. Number 18, Creighton, up by 1. Saturday Overdrive on CBS Sports Network this Saturday in the Mountain West, a tripleheader. UNLV in Logan to take on Utah State. Nevada against New Mexico and Air Force on the road at number 5 San Diego State. Tonight in Indianapolis, Hinkle Fieldhouse, our AT&T game summary. Butler down a point. They've done it by defending. They've done it by shooting the 3. At our AT&T game summary. And they've been defending Greg McDermott all night.
Yeah, Doug McDermott is very difficult to guard with guards, but Alex Barlow has probably done the best job of anybody. Now watch Barlow. He's just going to fight and use leverage. Kind of locks up, probably a foul, but they never call it in the guard. And then he kind of roots him out and just gets lower, pushes him off the post. And then Cameron Woods using his long arms as a mistake is made by Devin Brooks, who tries to feed the low post and doesn't really have the angle to do so. Barlow and his aggressiveness defensively, his shot making offensively, and his leadership have really been the difference for Butler. They're falling out of the game early before he's made some of these plays.
Cheerleaders using the extent of the timeout. Second horn, they're off the floor. Well, Barlow really an extension of Brandon Miller. And you know, Miller, this has not been an easy year. They're 2-10. They've lost so many overtime games, 4 of them. And you know, Miller, a fiery guy when he's played, has been calm and patient. He's taken a page out of Brad Stevens' book.
How does Brad Stevens not have a book? Does he actually have a book? All these other guys have books. I want to read Brad Stevens' book.
Rogge, that's too strong.
He has been off tonight.
McDermott.
The lumberjack has been chopping wood, chopping bricks, if anything. Not knocking down nets.
Woods on McDermott. 21 for McDermott. Off the cut, and he was fouled. Woods had a piece of him.
Well, they're doing a very good job. Here's Cameron Woods. And it's got to be ball you man. You got to jump to the basketball. The problem is screens are coming from everywhere. How is that not a foul on Grant Gibbs for the moving screen? I don't understand.
That's what Woods thought.
Don Daly thought otherwise.
Here comes McDermott. Woods right on his tail. I guess this is the challenge for Creighton. When they can't get the ball to McDermott, what can they do offensively?
Well, that's when their guards have to penetrate. They're doing a good job on limiting Austin Chapman's looks.
Gibbs penetrates. Kick. Maniga. Rogge. He still hasn't hit. And Woods with McDermott on his back has the rebound. Butler has a chance to take the lead. 6.5 left in Indianapolis. Barlow from offensive foul, Marshall.
What a smart play by Austin Chapman. What a smart play. Call it a flop, call whatever you want. He's fighting, he's fighting. Kyle Marshall kind of flings him around.
Third personal on Marshall.
You know, so often there are guys that can score, guys that can shoot, that don't get to play at this level, at the Butler level, the Creighton level. Why does Austin Chapman and Barlow make it? They're just tougher. It can be 5'7", 5'8".
Barlow pokes it for McDermott.
McDermott can't get a post bucket on him.
Barlow bodies him up. Here comes the double. Got the bucket anyways.
And
23.
And then there's that. I think if you're Creighton, you feed him till he burps, especially if they're going to keep putting Barlow on him. He has a turnaround jumper in him next.
Brown around a screen. Fromm takes a rare three and missed it. Creighton with the ball and a three-point lead. Barlow is playing his heart out right now.
Man.
McDermott. Gibbs with a tough entry pass, and it skips out of bounds.
And McDermott on the previous trip was really struggling with Barlow. Alex Barlow using leverage, bodying, trying to flick the ball, and Fromm comes over. And I credit Maniga there because the first ball was tipped out, and they just throw it back in there. Repost, reestablish yourself. We know you can score if you get another opportunity.
Kellen Dunham back in the ball game for Butler, along with Barlow in the backcourt. Also, Andrew Travis is in. Travis has been in foul trouble all night, but has played well. Travis, the feed, and a foul. Free throws for Marshall.
This has been my favorite lineup because of what Butler's been able to do with their interior passing. Woods finding Travis, who finds Marshall cutting. And because Creighton is desirous to double team every low post touch, it's created openings on the weak side. I wouldn't double. I mean, Cameron Woods, Kyle Marshall, they're not great scorers down low.
Third foul on Gibbs. 15th foul on Creighton.
They keep doubling, and that leaves the weak side of their defense open for either offensive rebounds or, as Butler has discovered, for cuts to the basket.
Kyle Marshall, couple free throws. 1 point game. Crowd rising. Gibbs on a backdoor feed from Martino. Pretty stuff from number 18, Creighton. Back to a three-point game. Travis got the three, ties the game. McDermott. Maniga. A chance to take the lead. 10 lead changes. Creighton out of the chute in the first half had a 10-point lead. And it looked like a repeat of Tuesday night. when Butler was waxed by Xavier. Woods still hasn't hit that mid-range jumper. It stays with Butler.
Butler has come alive at the offensive end, and if you dare him, they'll take that dare. Dogs tied up with the Jays.
61 apiece, number 18 Creighton and Butler in Indianapolis in the Big East. Time now for the Aspen Dental Moments That Make You Smile. Doug Gottlieb, you ever throw any lob passes like this?
Absolutely. Throw a lob pass and it goes in. I'll actually point out I played at Creighton in Omaha, downtown, before CenturyLink was built, and I threw one into the student section and got myself benched. That's probably the only way I could have made a three-point shot in Omaha.
For more moments that make you smile, presented by Aspen Dental, visit cbssports.com/Aspen Dental. Gibbs tonight, 5 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. There's more smiles certainly around Hinkle Fieldhouse than there were 48 hours ago.
But they played in so many of these close games. But if coffee is for closers, they've been getting steak knives, even more so than a Cadillac. They have not been able to close out close games, especially in this building. And the Georgetown game was the one in which they had so many opportunities to close, couldn't do it.
Butler possession, a chance to take the lead. Travis in there with Woods, Dunham, and Barlow in the backcourt. Kyle Marshall in the middle.
I still think that ball needs to go to the low post, where Creighton has decided they're going to double on every low post touch.
Travis just hit the 3. Ball fake. Woods still hasn't hit that mid-range jumper. Marshall bats it out. Terrific play. And a fresh shot clock for Butler.
That's actually over and back. That's a missed violation call. If the team in the front court touches it, even if you don't possess it, that's over and back.
Marshall's open. Not a good pass.
Too late.
And Gibbs was there to steal it, and Butler wastes a great opportunity.
The cliche, it's better late than never, not true in basketball. If you're late, you get it picked off. Marshall was open, Travis missed him. And that's what happened.
McDermott and a timeout. Greg McDermott did not like what he saw and burns a timeout. Number 18 Creighton, all tied at Butler, 61 apiece. Hinkle Fieldhouse is alive tonight. Number 18 Creighton is in the house, and Butler is all tied at 61 apiece. 1:54 left in the ball game. Tonight's Renner Center Scholar athlete, Ethan Rogge, the Creighton senior, the three-point bomber, with a triple major.
It's perfect for him. He has to, the way he shoots the 3 at 49%, doesn't he have to be a triple major? He majors in triples on the floor, he's a triple major off the floor. Quick correction to correct myself. The rule in college basketball is if you're on offense in your front court, even if the other team steals it and you deflect it and then it goes to the backcourt, it's over and back. But I made a mistake when it's off of a shot and there's no team possession, then that rule is null and void.
Creighton does not have a full shot clock to work with. It's at a dozen. McDermott coming off a screen. Barlow trailing him. At 5'11", Barlow has probably been the best defender against McDermott. Deep 3. And a shot clock violation. Butler gets the ball back. McDermott is down and he's hurt.
Yeah, that's Alex Barlow with the box out. And that was a nasty fall on his funny bone.
That's 5'11", Alex Barlow.
He's tougher than a $2 steak.
He's been the difference tonight defensively. And I know McDermott has had a big night, 23 points. That's not a big night for McDermott. Elijah Brown out there. 3-guard look. Dunham, Barlow. Barlow around a screen. Feeds Marshall, backing in. Marshall, left hand. Butler's got the lead. Barlow with a foul, bumping McDermott.
Doug McDermott wants to get the ball in the low post. So they're going, this is called a shuffle pick, and Barlow's just not letting him through. And this is the freedom of movement, and I agree with that call. I don't like the hand check, the nickel dime that was called early to start the year, but he couldn't run because Alex Barlow wouldn't allow him to run. That's the right call.
But you got to like the fact that Barlow used the foul to prevent the possession. Only 5 team fouls right now on Butler. McDermott straight on 3. Creighton has a 1-point lead.
Same shot he hit against St. John's at the end of the first half. I mean, you just assume he's going to roll down the low post. And you know what happens when you assume? Well, when you assume, Doug McDermott makes you pay.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is being brought to you by AT&T. Rethink possible. By Golden Corral. Right now at Golden Corral, get a steamed lobster tail for just an extra $3.99. That's right, just $3.99. And by Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here.
The Creighton Bluejays are number 18 in the country. They have the best player in the country, Doug McDermott, who just hit a big 3.
And this is a go-to play for them, okay? Austin Chapman's going to pass to the wing, and he's going to come set like a UCLA screen. Freeze it right there. Now, the problem is that Woods guesses he's going to cut to the basket, and he just stops, sets his feet, in range, in rhythm, splash. If you chase him, he's going to roll down the post and seal you on his backside. And if you help, that's where Austin Chapman hit an open 3 early in the first half. They space the floor with 2 shooters on the weak side, and when Creighton needs a bucket, they try and isolate Doug McDermott on that little UCLA cut, and he simply reads the defense.
Butler has played 6 overtime games. They've lost 4 of them. They're down a point, 44 seconds left.
I would go right away. You're down 1, you can still get an extra possession.
Barlow. Travis driving. Got it up. Creighton lost it. Butler has it. No reset. 19 on the shot clock.
Now, one of the specialties for Butler, this is very good defense from Martino, is these underneath out-of-bounds plays.
Travis again. No foul. Creighton with the ball and the lead. No free throws yet. 6-team foul.
Well, how about the defense from Martino? That's a good no call. He had his hand on the ball. That's a good no call. And you know, they threw out to Twitter what his nickname should be, and that's how they came up with Big Swag. How is it not Grand Artino?
He's got 11 points and 10 rebounds, a double-double off the bench.
Apparently nobody in Omaha appreciates a good Clint Eastwood flick. Grand Artino is a lot better.
Buick player of the game, 64-63. With 21 seconds left.
Well, as of right now, it's got to be Dougie McBuckets. 26 points. He was limited at times in the second half. But when you're down 2 and Hinkle Fieldhouse comes alive and 10,000 faithful stand up, he fakes like he's coming off a screen, steps back, splash.
To get to 3,000 points, that's about what he needs to average per game from here on out, about 26, 27 a game. Depending on how deep they go in the tournament.
They got the Big East tournament. They got the NCAA tournament. They won a game last year. It's an interesting discussion. If you go to CBSSportsRadio.com, I had about a 15-minute discussion on my radio show with Doug McDermott as to who had the better year last year, Creighton or Wichita State. Remember, they won their league and won the league tournament, but lost in their second game in the NCAA tournament. They obviously want more this year, want some of what Wichita had last season.
You can see the fouls. Next foul, free throws for Creighton. Tough part here, Creighton's a very good free throw shooting team. Grant Gibbs, who is inbounding, is their worst free throw shooter. Tipped, and it stays with Creighton. 21 seconds left.
So what I would do is, you try and deny the basketball, but you don't want to just sell out and double and leave Gibbs open, because when you run back to Gibbs, he's then going to find the open man. Gibbs is obviously the guy you want to foul.
The Burnett timeout.
Timeout, Bluejays.
We'll mention how Greg McDermott, during his time at Northern Iowa, was seen as the master of set plays. And they would drill time and again. Remember, he took Northern Iowa to their first tournament appearance. From this very spot on the floor, they practiced every inbounds pass, inbounds play, inbounds set during their walkthrough today. Right at the corner, right where there's nowhere to move. And so this is very simple. This is where preparation is king. And they couldn't get it to McDermott last time because they denied him the basketball, but expect them to stack up and try and get him the ball. But here's Kyle Marshall, simple denial. Right then's the bounce pass got to come. It's very hard, though, because you have Woods on the basketball who's got long hands, long arms.
Do you foul right away, or do you look for a turnover in backcourt with a 10-second, or possibly get a hand on a ball?
I would double in the backcourt and try and get a steal. If Gibbs gets it, then I would foul Gibbs. But I don't think you sell out and necessarily leave Gibbs all alone where he's got plenty of space to catch and then make a pass before he's fouled.
Gibbs, Maniga, Chapman's fouled. Austin Chapman will shoot 1 and 1, 77% free throw shooter. Even if he makes 2, though, Butler will be down 3, 18 seconds left.
And Butler has 2 timeouts, so you can still go get a quick drive and a layup, call timeout, and set up your full court press. You do not have to take a 3, and if you're Creighton, if you're up 3, you don't want to foul with 18 seconds to go.
First free throws of the night, Austin Chapman, the junior out of Texas. Hits the first. Creighton has a foul to give. They've got 5 team fouls. One more for Chapman. That was easy. Chapman hits them both. Butler needs a 3. Barlow races up the floor and gets a timeout. 15 seconds left. And Brandon Miller gets the pen and the grease board out. Obviously, Butler needs a 3. Creighton can foul.
I don't think Butler needs a 3 necessarily. There's 15 seconds to go if you get a quick 2. Remember, Brandon Miller spent last season on John Gross's staff at Illinois. Gross is very good at these quick hitters in which you take the ball from one side of the floor to the next. I would expect a slip to the basket because Creighton's probably going to overplay everything on Kellen Dunham. Don't be stunned if Butler actually tries to get a quick layup and then a foul.
If you're Creighton, do you use a foul?
Absolutely not. Now, and actually this is the Brad Stevens rule, if you will. And Brad, who knows if he really studied it, but about 5 years ago, he told everybody around him 7 seconds or less, and that's kind of become what everyone in college basketball says. 7 seconds or less, you foul, and you practice fouling as well. 15 seconds, too much time.
Because a foul here does not mean free throws. They have just 5 team fouls.
Oh, you're talking about if you're Creighton fouling?
Yes.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I would save that till when you really, really need it.
All right, let's see. Barlow to inbound. You've got Brown and Dunham out on the floor, and it's Dunham. Brown. They're going to play for the 3. Dunham on its way. It's short. And Creighton has the ball. 0.4 seconds left.
Bulldogs number 3, Alex Barlow, his 3rd.
They ran a little ISO to get Elijah Brown a shot, and then Kellen Dunham. They leave him isolated because they know if you set a ball screen, he'll simply be switched on or even doubled. But I didn't like the shot.
And Butler clearly came out playing for the 3. Chapman back at the line. He just sank 2. And he can finish it. And he's got the first.
How about Austin Chapman? This is going to be a tough year for the youngster. His dad's first chance to see him play with the Cavs on break.
So many close losses, so many heartbreaks for Butler. Add this one to the list. They had number 18 Creighton on the ropes, and Creighton escapes.
Well, Doug McDermott's going to get the headlines. But boy, Austin Chapman knocked down a big three of his own, made 4 big free throws, and closes up shop here at Hinkle. And you can see Greg McDermott's been on the other side of that. He's been on the other side at times at Iowa State. He knows what it's like to have a young team stepping up into competition.
The tough losses for Butler in the Big East and out of conference. Early against Oklahoma State, LSU, Villanova, DePaul, Georgetown. Just look at the overtimes piling up. This not an overtime game, but a tie game and a winnable game.
Well, and remember, obviously playing without Roosevelt Jones all season long, who'll be back next season. And Roosevelt Jones, of course, famously beat Gonzaga last year right here at Hinkle. That'll make a difference. But, you know, losing becomes contagious at some point. At some point, you look up at the clock and you think, we're not going to win this game. And whereas Creighton, winning becomes contagious. That's a confident bunch. They all feel like they can knock down big shots, knock down big free throws. And coming off the loss to St. John's with Villanova coming up Saturday, don't underestimate just how big this is on a path to their first Big East championship.
Win number 20 for Creighton, Lauren Gardner, is with Doug McDermott. Lauren?
Well, Doug, this thing came down to the wire. Take us through those last 30 seconds of play. What was the discussion amongst this group?
You know, we knew we had a foul to give there, so we were aggressive on defense. We were switching everything. They got so many good shooters, so it's tough with them because they make you pay on every mistake you make on defense. So we're just very fortunate to walk away with the W.
Tonight marked win number 100 for your father. What does that mean to you and him?
It means a lot. You know, we've been through a lot together. It just means this program's on the rise. He's the man leading it, and he's done a tremendous job with us, and he keeps us humble, and we're looking forward to getting more wins.
You told me you were in awe in playing at Madison Square Garden. Describe the feeling of winning in this fashion in this historic venue.
Yeah, I love this place. I'd rank this ahead of the Garden. I mean, I guess since we won, it makes it a little better, but this is awesome. This just has Hoosiers written all over it, and you know, this is a great program. They're going to make a lot of noise under Coach.
I think tonight proved that there are no easy wins in the Big East. Describe the parity now in this conference as you see it.
It's tough. You know, you have to get every win. No one's going to hand them to you, and especially when you're playing against a Butler team. We know they were 2-10 coming in, but they're still Butler. They're going to find a way to, you know, make you pay, and it's just such a great win for our program.
Thanks, Doug. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Doug Gottlieb, Doug McDermott in this ballgame hit just 3 threes. One of them, though, was a Jimmy Chitwood three, the big three that put him on top and won the ballgame.
It wasn't the picket fence. It's a play that they call 5. A simple screen from Austin Chapman, and he reads it, steps out, and as the defense determined, he took the open shot, and then Austin Chapman knocks down 4 free throws of his own. Big win for the Jays, and a big win coming up in Omaha Saturday against Villanova.
For Doug Gottlieb, Lauren Gardner, our entire crew, I'm Rich Waltz. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, 24-hour home of CBS Sports. VCU, George Washington, women's basketball now.